How do you make a well-known piece sound fresh and surprising? This Waltz was actually one of Chopin's early private pieces. He never published it while he was alive, so it only came out later as a posthumous work. Many people assume this waltz was written for dancing, but even though waltzes were extremely popular dance music at the time, Chopin didn't really enjoy big formal balls. Well, he often improvised waltzes in salons in aristocratic homes. So this piece wasn't meant for the ballroom at all. It's really an artistic waltz written for the piano, not a piece for actual dancing. If you want to play this piece in a way that really stands out, you need your own ideas about phrasing, touch, dynamics, and rubato. I've listened to many recordings and videos by well-known pianists, and by studying how they shape the music, I'd like to share some practical teaching insights with you today. Let's start by looking at the beginning of the piece. I really like Casey's playing, his focus, his touch, and the way he shapes dynamics. Compared with other pianists, you can hear the difference from the very first note. Zimmerman's tone is much softer. Barenboim's sound is brighter and more refined. And we can hear every group of notes that Wen Yu plays. Most of them hold the rest before the two notes slur a bit longer than written, which gives a sense of breathing and separation between phrases. When we count, it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and... Instead, we play like this. Let's continue and listen to the more lively section together. Kissing plays the first time the softest, the second time louder. Finish this section lightly at the original tempo. Then hear the Zimmermans playing. Barenboim plays at one tempo and the two parts don't contrast much in articulation. The first section has a light touch and the second is more singing. I'll summarize the ways to handle the transition between the two sections. The first choice, don't slow down at the end of the first section. Or slow down and gradually lead into the second section. Instead of playing the left hand longer, Barenboim plays it more lightly. Kissing not only contrasts dynamics and touch, but also changes tempo suddenly, which adds a lot of tension to the music. Zimmerman keeps it pretty even. The right hand shows a hemiola here, so I recommend adding a bit of contrast. When the theme comes back in measure 41, it's still repeated twice. I noticed that Casey starts both times similarly, but the second time he crescendos faster and stronger. Barenboim, on the other hand, chooses a different touch at the start of the two repeats. First time, touch the keys slowly, and second time faster and stronger. We can make the phrase sound longer by keeping measure 53 at the same dynamic as measure 51. And you can also divide it into two short phrases, making measure 53 softer to contrast with measure 51. Please listen to my demonstration. When we keep the same dynamic, if adding a dynamic contrast, some of the middle voices in the score are easy to miss. The first example is a lower line in the right hand in measures 111 to 113. There are also some hidden melodic lines in the left hand. Turn the wrist to transfer the weight into your thumb. Here's how the melody goes. Kissing lets this melodic line fade out. For parts like this, where the melody needs to stand out, we can use arm to drive the wrist. Feel the weight transfer at a slow tempo. To feel your wrist movement. Listening to different master recordings helps you understand various ways to interpret the music. You can pick up ideas about phrasing, dynamics, tempo, touch, and expression. It also inspires your own musical choices and helps you develop a more personal interpretation of the piece. Thank you for watching.